Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the March 14th meeting of the Grafton Affordable Housing Trusts. Calling us to order, we do have one attendee or remote, so we're just going to roll call in, starting with Andy.
Jefferson here.
Brittany.
Morgan here.
Dan.
Here.
Ed.
Here.
And Bruce is also here. So tonight we have a quick update on 17 and 27 Upton Streets. Some plans and schematics came in for the impending permit submittal, which should happen in April. I think Fiona can probably give us a little bit of update on it, but the schematics came in too late for us to really review them as part of this agenda item. But they're comprehensive. They're going to have to go through some subtle changes because there are some things that need to be shifted around. So it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. But I talked with Jean today from the engineering outfit, and she doesn't feel that should delay us from submittal in April. So unless Fiona has heard anything more, I'll give you 2 seconds because I know you were working with them on this, Fiona.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. So we met, myself and the conservation agent met with Jean Christie, John Grant, and the team from Brendan Homes a few days ago, went over a couple of things. There's some plan modifications that they need to work on. From planning's perspective, we're still, they had, a couple of minor things, parking in the front yard setback, where they're working on fixing that. They needed to add snow storage to the plans for Leah, but it was really like more minor things. I need to follow up with some information from them for MassDOT. They're trying to get a point of contact for the work that's going on 140 to coordinate their efforts with that project. Let me just pull up and see if there's anything else from my email. I followed up with Jean in an email and I just, but yeah, I mean, again, nothing too crazy, and I don't think anything that would delay the process by any means. They did, since the Brendan Homes team has come on, they've done a really good job of abiding by our regs, and yeah, we're happy with it. So happy to answer specific questions.
I took a brief look at the design. I caught Jean in passing just to let her know that she didn't have to be here tonight because it really didn't make it in time to make it into the packet. My only concerned area is the continuity of the sidewalks, which I think is going to be an issue. And the only issue that I have with that is it's, should the sidewalk have to be augmented in any way as it crosses the railroad?
Right.
So I had mentioned to her that, we should take a look at talking to Della Piscoli and the Grafton Upton Railroad. We have had a discussion with them, but that was a year ago at this point. But now that things have solidified and the project's moving forward, it might be time to reach out and just see if there's anything that's going to be an issue there, because the property is adjacent to their easement.
Right.
And there might be some flexibility for us to provide continuity, not only to the common, but along the actual railroad to match up with the One Grafton Common area. So there's already a crosswalk there where the railroad crosses North Street.
Yep.
So there might be some flexibility to work there. So I asked them to
Yeah.
just look at it.
Bruce, I followed up with her just to get a confirmation because they've been kind of going back and forth. Obviously the sidewalks are a big priority for my board as well. And all Jean confirmed for me following our meeting was that their intent is to provide a sidewalk from the parking lot near the Grafton Inn along Upton Street to the surface lot driveway. So, yeah, I think I'll help them facilitate whatever communications they need to with the Grafton Upton Railroad, and help them in any way I can. I know that there's a Worcester Transit Authority stop. Does it stop there in front of the Grafton Inn, or because I couldn't tell from the maps if it was across the common or if it was in front of the Grafton Inn, because we would be very interested in creating the sidewalk connection that would link to the stop possible.
I have to look. I don't know where that is. I mean, that's where that is.
Not off the top of my head.
All right. The reason why I bring this up now, and I know it's a little bit in the weeds, is because, you know, when you get into the planning board process and we start with a special permit, this is the type of thing that's gonna be brought up then anyways. And it's the type of thing that extends a conversation from something they're only meeting twice a month. You know, so the hearing opens and then we talk about this and then we have to go back and do some iteration that, you know, that we should have
Yeah.
foreseen going into it to help mitigate the amount of time we're gonna spend in the special permit process. That's why I bring it up now, and I'll leave it alone from there.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any questions for Fiona on 1727 up the street or anything outside of the schematics? Nope. Okay, great. Kathleen is here to talk to us about what on earth is going on in Milton Transit Authority, and then she'll provide us with a brief update on the option agreement for 25.
Oh my
Worcester Street.
God. Oh my God. Unbelievable. So we hired new counsel for $850 an hour as a discounted price.
Yeah, I was only kidding.
I'm thinking I was in the wrong field.
Well, Kathleen, who did you get?
Yeah. What?
Who did you get?
Foley Hoag.
Yeah, okay. That's
I don't remember the name of the person. I don't know litigators that much. I know it's too funny because actually the guy, one of the guys on the zoning board, is a partner at Foley Hoag and a former general counsel to Mass DOT.
Yeah.
He was a firm believer in the fact that the trolley is in fact rapid transit.
Okay.
So, but he's certainly not on this case.
Yeah, right. Right.
So I think that's their big argument is they're trying to make is that the trolley doesn't count.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But they haven't got a plan for complying with the zoning, even if they get the reduced number.
Yeah,
So-
that argument always seemed to me like it was a front, but it's a half decent argument, I suppose.
It's a half decent argument, but it would be better if you were prepared to provide zoning for
Right.
that lower number, but they're not.
Right.
So they're just saying no because that's easiest and not doing anything else.
I just
Anyway,
wanna
but
juxtapose that against how Grafton's approach to it was, which was much more thoughtful.
yeah, well, everybody's had.
I'm not saying we're better than Milton, but we're kind of better than Milton.
Well, I have to say that we banned multifamily housing, 2 families and up, 100 years ago.
Wow.
We don't have 98% of our tax base is residential because we banned commercial and industrial except for where it was in 1938.
Holy moly. Wow. So this is more of a proud tradition than anything else.
Oh my God, yeah, totally. Totally.
All right, so
Anyway.
25 Worcester Street.
So 25 Worcester, what I've sent you is the option for purchase agreement, which is, been modified to make it more of an option than a binding purchase and sale agreement. And that's really because of the financing constraints. There was a concern about this because, in my mind, because I was worried that we had put out an RFP that said people were going to be signing, the successful bidder was going to be signing a purchase and sale agreement. And an option agreement is a little different. It's not as binding. And I thought, well, if we had advertised that we were doing options, we might have gotten more people. And so I was concerned about this. But I did, in fact, check with the Commonwealth, and they assured me that I was okay, that this was within the scope of our RFP, and that it would be okay to recraft it as an option. And it's really because of the fact of letter 1B, which is the environmental review restriction. They can't get financing from HUD until they go through this environmental review. And HUD prohibits an applicant from signing a purchase and sale agreement until they have completed that environmental review. And so that's really why we had to kind of recast this agreement as an option rather than a strict purchase and sale agreement. But other than that, it's basically all the same provisions that we had, in the purchase and sale agreement. It just has this little environmental review hitch in B and C and D.
Kathleen, when you spoke with them last, did they give you, an update on their timeline?
I talked to the attorney, and I'm not sure that he knew.
Okay.
But they're ready to go. I mean, they signed this agreement in 2 days. I mean, I sent that up to them. He got it signed, and so I think they're ready to roll as soon as we are. So
Because
Um,
their funding sources are typically going to be a once a year application, right? And that's probably next January.
yes,
Okay, so they've got a lot of work to do, especially if they want to get before ZBA before next January. So hopefully
Yeah.
they move quickly.
yeah. So as I said, I'll check once we've signed it and send it back. I'll find out what the timeline is for them.
Okay. Can you just emphasize? It'd probably be better coming from you than from us, but
Yeah.
just emphasize the point that they got to move relatively quickly to be finished by December. And I'm not sure if
Yeah.
they make the application in January or if they're awarded in January, but I know that they'll only have one funding round next year. So,
Yeah.
all right. Is everybody else happy with this? Is this something that we can just direct the chair to sign?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Well, that was easy. All right. By roll call, starting with Brittany,
Aye.
Andy,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Bruce is an aye. Nobody opposed. I will sign it as soon as it's in front of me. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fiona, do you have anything more for us? I know I jumped the gun on the 1727 Upton Street piece, but
No, that's okay. Yeah, I was just going to let the trust know a couple of things. So I have, with the help of Josefa, submitted, Josefa submitted the request for the 59 Pleasant Street units to go on the SHI, and they should be on there. I'm trying to get confirmation from EOHLC with an updated SHI so I can definitely confirm that, but I have been working on that. I'm getting, there's a couple of folks that are highly interested in seeing that move forward, as well as the 116 Upton Street project. We're still waiting for the appeal period to close for 116 Upton, but then I'm planning on moving to submit that as well to the state, which should put us in an advantageous position, especially for some of these upcoming projects. And speaking of, we have Snow Road site visit coming up on the 28th of March at 11. I'm planning on going and meeting staff from EOHLC there, as well as the development team. So I just wanted the trust to be aware. Josefa, I see your hands up.
Can I join you if that's okay?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's like it's a mandatory site walk. It's really, I think it's more of,
thanks.
I think it's really just for EOHLC to say that they,
Mhm.
did it. But
Did it,
yeah,
okay.
I don't see why not.
I mean, because
Um,
because I know with Berlin, it was super helpful for me to see the different developments. So I'm trying to do that with Grafton and see the different developments and kind of drive by it. So I don't even mind
Sure.
even driving to get the parameter, just to get aware of where things are. So it just gives me a visual. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Benincasa is the developer, and they're going to be coordinating that. So just so the trust is aware, that's something that's coming up. Other than that, I apologize. I should have sent this in advance, but the master plan working group had finalized some goals and objectives for the housing chapter of the master plan. I completely blanked and did not send those in advance, but I'm happy to talk about them at the next meeting or share them in a way that makes sense following up on this meeting.
We'll send
I'm
them down
sorry,
anyway, so we
completely
can
wrong.
review on our own. And we're not gonna have a meeting in April, so if you have any comments, concerns with the draft that Fiona's gonna send, just send them through Amber back to Fiona. We don't need to vote on that or anything like that. That's out of our purview, right?
Yeah, yeah, you don't need to vote on it. And I think we did receive a couple of comments from the trust. I think Colleen Roy had come before the trust at the last meeting and mentioned this, and now we finally have gotten to the point where we're in the final draft of those goals and objectives. But I just want to keep you all posted about the status of that. And yeah, I'll send those around.
Just if you get your hands up, you want to, is that a good segue into your report?
No, I didn't have my hands up, but do you want me to go into my report? I know we're going in the agenda. Sorry, that was a mistake.
No worries.
But
Let
yeah,
us-
go for it.
Yep.
Do
Have
you want me to go into my report? Oh, okay.
please.
Sounds good because like I've just like broken my fast. I'm practicing Ramadan. It's the only thing I do. So it's been yeah. But besides that, so had the first round of webinars for the ADUs, which was super successful. So that was great, and I really appreciate Grafton's support in that. And a lot of towns have been really interested in like ADU bylaws and things along that line, neighboring towns. So that was like super, I don't know, it's like groundbreaking. And I'm actually I was not prepared for this, but I guess one thing that I want to share is like, I think what was exciting for me was I was getting a lot of questions on affordable housing and people wanting to know about like what's affordability and things along that line. So definitely like groundbreaking in my opinion. Besides that, I will be sending over the what is it called? The housing production plan summary that I ended up doing. And I know that Bruce and I talked about earlier, or sometime like last year of doing like a affordable housing trust guide. So if there's a new member coming in, I ended up finishing up that, so I'll send that over to you guys shortly. So please let me know what you think about it. And I am working on the story map for Grafton as well. And I have a regional housing coordinator regional meeting coming up soon. I did send out a doodle poll, so if the trust, I think I sent it over to the trust. So if you can, if you haven't, if you can participate in that and let me know which dates work, that would be highly appreciated. But that's about it for me. Yeah. But yeah, I was very excited to know about the ADU workshop. That was just something else. So yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Fiona or Giuseppe?
No, I just we used to have a guidebook for new members. I remember getting one, and it was probably not very. It was not. It was supposed to be affordable housing for dummies, but it was basically just a copy of the statute. And it was like, here, read this. So that
okay.
was I found that not helpful. I mean, this was in 2012, so this was I was a lawyer.
So-
I was 10 years out of law school, and I still was like, this is too dense. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think the one that I ended up using was from Barnstable. They had a guidebook, so I ended up taking some verbiage from there and
That's
kind of
good. That's helpful.
retweaking it. Yeah,
That'd be great.
because yeah, and I know like Upton just had their housing affordable housing trust too, so they want something similar. So I think that's just good that all these towns are asking, and I think if I have a how-to, that will be great if other housing trusts want to use it too. So yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good one, Bruce.
Great. When you get it to a certain point, like I said, April, there's gonna be no meeting, so if you get to a certain point where you want some feedback, again, send it to, via Amber, and Amber, if you'd send it to us, and then we'll just coordinate through you, so we don't run into any problems with
Perfect.
deliberation.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Alrighty. But besides that, I don't have anything else. Do you guys mind if I head out, if that's okay?
No, of course. Have a good night.
Okay,
Thanks
so
for coming.
sorry. Have a good
Thanks,
one,
Lucy.
and then I'll see you guys in the May meeting then. Alrighty.
Fiona?
Yeah, I just had a quick question, Bruce. I know that we mentioned last time, I forgot to touch on this, the Hudson Ave Millbury Street parcel. Did you get everything that you needed from me?
I did. Yeah,
that
I
or-
was gonna bring that up just at the tail end of this meeting for, some
Okay.
stuff that I think we should start working on. I think, before we look at some of the broader term things that we wanna see the trust accomplish over the next couple of years, some of this stuff made it into the housing production plan. Is we have two major projects that we're finally seeing life to and have good legs. Is we need to spend some time strategizing how we want to approach the planning board and the ZBA. Planning board process, I think, is going to be a little bit easier because it's an overlay district. It's designed for what we're putting in there, and it went through special legislation to get it. So, and of course, special permit process is, it's intended to be granted. We're not asking for many waivers on our project, but it's still a very big thing. So it's still gonna probably have 2 or 3 public hearings. We'll need to have some active participation there, and just get a feel for it. So we need to make sure that we're cognizant of that and we have an approach to it. The other piece is a ZBA piece. And as Fiona mentions, we're gonna be in safe harbor, because we'll probably get certification for the 2 projects that got permitted recently. So that means we'll be proposing in front of the ZBA, the 25 Worcester Street project, under the auspices of they do not have to even take it. Or, hear it. They can make us wait until we're out of the safe harbor process. So we're gonna have to reach out to them and see how we want to approach that. Now, I think we should have some consideration there because it was an act of legislature that allowed us to go through this process, because it was a citizen's petition, authored by Ed, to actually ask the town to specifically do this. But that being said, how much that means, while we're in the environment we're in now, we want to make sure we, I don't know if we want to reach out to the ZBA, have a meeting with them, or wait till we get some plans. But let's spend some time thinking about what we want to do and how we want to approach this. We probably have a couple months, so when we come back in May, let's spend a little time on seeing how we want to develop that network. Because I'm guessing if they start in earnest with a good set of plans or what they would need for a submittal, they're probably June before they can submit. I'm guessing. They're gonna have to do survey work, environmental engineering, a whole host of things that's probably gonna gobble up at least a quarter. So we'll wanna be ready by June-ish. So,
Bruce,
yeah.
just so I'm clear, so ready with,
A submittal.
basically a final set of plans by June for 25 Worcester Street?
That's
They're
pretty
not-
ambitious.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're still,
Yeah.
that environmental review process that they're doing through HUD is a bear. I know from experience.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be 3 months on that in and of itself, but they should be working on their survey work, their engineering work, where they're gonna put stormwater. They know what building they're gonna build. So they should have they shouldn't do one and then move into the other.
Yeah.
They,
Okay.
especially if they wanna be through this process by the end of the year, which I doubt they can do. But anyways, if we start looking at it in May, in June, we're gonna start seeing some of the stuff that they're gonna be producing. If they're not ready to submit, then they're not ready to submit, but we have to have that network and that exchange between us and ZBA. Before we get too far along in this process. So,
Okay,
coordination, I guess, is what it is. We're in uncharted territory for the town, so.
yeah. We've been doing a good amount of these like pre-filing, like reviews with developers, especially for these larger scale projects. So, it's becoming more normal than just, reading the regs and trying to get all of your stuff squared away and then filing and then finding out after the fact that you're missing something or something's inadequate. So
Well, if my
we can
memory
try and set up
serves me
some
correctly, and Ed, stop me if I'm wrong here, but if we're in safe harbor, the ZBA doesn't have to actually hear this
Right.
proposal.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different reasons that we would want to move as fast as we can. Number one, the sooner we get before them, the more likely we'll be in safe harbor. When that happens, they're going to want to apply for funding by January. And also, there's, an element of our terms are all up as of June 30th.
Yeah, there's a
So,
rollover of 4 people in June. Okay,
sooner than later.
so plan for this conversation in May. Thanks, Fiona, appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions on that? If they do, just, feed them back to us through the normal channels, and I'll make sure I prepare the agenda appropriately. We might want to reach out to ZBA, in the interim. And see what their schedule is like, see what their end of the year is looking like as far as submittals. So, we have some invoices for GSX.
Yep. Do you want one big motion?
Need to do separate.
Okay. That's a lot of them.
You can do, I think
Yeah, it's draw
Amber totaled them
request.
for it.
Oh,
Draw
okay.
request 9 and draw request 10.
All right, move that we approve draw request 9 as submitted.
Do Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor by roll call, starting with Brittany,
Aye.
Andy.
Aye.
Dan.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
Bruce is an aye. Motion passes.
All right, move that we approve draw request 10 as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion? Again by roll call. Oh, yep, we got a
Just
question.
one quick on that. I think that one had a mileage charge involved in that, and I just wanted to confirm that we were okay with that. I feel like we've debated similar points about what funds can be expended on what in the past, and I forget to ask.
What was it, mileage?
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know what? It's been so long since we've seen one on there. I forget. What do you recall? Remember?
I remember talking about lodging. I don't remember talking about mileage.
Yeah, I don't remember talking about mileage specifically, but the travel expenses and things like that. There's Kathleen right there.
I think we had said, no, we weren't gonna pay that. I mean, well, I think the last time it was mileage between the hotels they were staying at and the site. So I guess the question is what's this mileage for?
Mileage prevailing rates, $132. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, I mean, can we send this back to them?
Yeah.
Okay. I withdraw my motion. Good catch, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
You could vote to do it with taking out, deducting the $132.
Yeah, we're just gonna get the new. I just want the new total in the motion
Okay.
instead of just a blanket.
So the suggested amount is $25,466.33.
Just before we move forward, now I'm questioning if that was on the first draw. Maybe that was on the first drawdown and not the second. Oh, I should have brought it up then. Sorry.
No, I had it in the second.
Yeah.
It was in the second package.
Okay.
Either way, the base time is gonna be washed out.
Right.
Anyways, so.
So 25,466.33 minus the 132.66. All right, so then the new amount would be $25,333.67. So I move that we approve a draw request amended to reflect a payment amount of $25,333.67.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Starting with Andy,
Jefferson, I.
Brittany,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Bruce is an aye.
All right.
So, Amber, I'll sign both of the drafts. I'll come back tomorrow. You can redo the signature form for
I can
the.
print a new one right now.
Okay, that'll work too. And then we'll kick back the other invoice to GSX and let them know that we don't pay mileage. All right, Fiona.
Sorry, not to be like belabor the point, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that like incidentals are not, that's something that the trust should be responsible for, from what I recall from reviewing.
Yeah, I think we've
The
been down this
agreement.
road before.
We have told them that before,
Mhm.
any number of times.
Yes, no, I
Well,
I
just,
know,
I'm
Kathleen,
glad
and-
it's itemized that one of us caught it. So before it was all just lumped into one big mesh that wasn't gonna work either.
right, and they always seem to have a line item that's, and from what I can recall, like energy code /PM, which is, you know, it's just interesting.
Generic.
I think that was last time I checked. I just did a double check. This was a little while ago, but it does seem to be like a standing line item there, which I
It's
don't
like
really
the
know
monthly
what it
management
means.
fee.
Yeah, it's the
Well, aren't we don't we, your town hasn't adopted the new code requirements that they have to get the, energy audit all the time? The HERS thing.
Yeah,
Is that-
I'm trying. I don't think we have yet. I think we will be.
Yeah.
I have to double check with building inspector, but yeah, because I was under the impression that we were not doing that at the moment.
Yeah,
Right.
but they may have to do that as one of the requirements for their lenders to make sure that they've got this energy audit in place, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the PM it should be the project management fee. That's their architectural firm. We questioned this about like 6 months ago. Eric did actually.
Okay.
And it's been a little while, but I think that's how it was explained to us because John actually had to explain it to us while he was here.
Okay.
I can ask for another explanation just so it's a little bit more spelt out, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to have them like, show up at a meeting or anything, but I just, some detail or something would be helpful.
It is confusing.
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Will most certainly be in for the next meeting, so because that will be prime time for the submittal and the start of the whole hoopla. Okay, we have a set of meeting minutes that we need to approve. And I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 8th, 2024 as drafted.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, starting with Brittany,
Hi.
Andy,
Jefferson, I.
Dan,
Aye.
Ed,
Abstain.
Bruce is an aye. Motion carries. And unless anybody else has anything significant they want to say, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, starting with Brittany,
Hi.
Andy, Dan,
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
Bruce is a no. And I don't win, so we're going to adjourn.